Grief has been described as a change in a familiar pattern of behavior. And so we're all grieving right now as our life has changed. Just like in therapy, where when you are counseling with someone who has experienced something that is the same as you, there's an ability to relate to that person. Grief is a club that no one would ever want to be a part of. And when you realize that this person actually can get it, and I have said numerous times that my story is different than your story. However, we have experienced something the same. There's an automatic understanding when I'm sitting with someone who has lost someone, lost a child in particular. There's an automatic relatability, and you just don't feel so alone. And our hope is that Camberwell is there for someone when they need it, just as somewhere, or even if they just need to get away, because sometimes even family doesn't know what to say to you.
I was desperate in the aftermath to find a place where I fit. Um, you know, I would go to dinner and I would be the only mom that had lost a child, and it was isolating and nobody knew what to say or if they should say something, and I always felt everywhere I was I didn't fit. And if I had a place that I could have gone and just sat and cried and not had to explain the story over and over again, or just been accepted by a community of people who let me cry, I was desperate for that, and I couldn't find that comfort anywhere. I remember thinking, I'm going to go to this group and I'm going to look in everybody's eyes for hope. And I left a lot of times not finding the hope yet. And so if I had had a place like Camberwell where people had the hope, even if they didn't always feel it every minute, but it was promised and they could tell me about it and walk me through it, it would have given me a confidence and the ability to maybe fight a little bit harder a little sooner, because there were a lot of days when I didn't want to fight at all. There were a lot of days when it didn't make sense to try.
Grief for me is emotional weightlifting. Just like going to the gym, you lift physical weight, and physical weight changes your physical body. But lifting emotional weight ideally will change you from within. And every day that I get up, I have to lift this weight, this tremendous weight that sometimes is super heavy. The fact that your daughter's not here, that you can't go upstairs and see her, that she's just not going to be there for holidays. That's a super heavy weight. And for people that have lost, they know what that weight feels like.
Part of feeling her and part of healing for me has always been to be outside. She loved the birds, although she made fun of me when we watched them together, but she loved them as much as I did. She loved the water. She loved flowers and trees, and I feel blessed that we had those conversations when she was alive, because now, going forward, I feel comfort in that, and I feel her with me when I'm in nature. It's a hope that you don't always find, but it's a blessing to me. And I think when I started to envision maybe what Camberwell could be, the peace of nature, it made me feel like she would always be there with me, that somehow her memory isn't lost, but it will keep going. Somehow the love that I have for her that I can't give to her physically, I can give to others there.
Our hope is that Camberwell is transformative, that designed by grievers for grievers, where grievers help other grievers, and it has infinite capacity to help. As our story, hopefully, our story is a hopeful story. We're sitting here hopefully. We have hope today.